Chapter 12, A New Dawn. Dawn came to Eldoria grey and exhausted. No battle horns. No victory drums. Only work. In the East Square, blood was scrubbed from stone while carpenters dismantled the tribunal scaffold plank by plank. Medics moved from cart to cart. Priests read names over covered bodies, palace guard and rebel, side by side under rain-dark canvas. The city had survived the day. It had not survived unchanged. At the palace gate, lines formed before sunrise. Millers demanding grain release. Village elders demanding burn order trials. Soldiers requesting oaths transferred from Black Banner Command to Crown Guard. Everyone wanted the same thing at once. Proof. Inside the war chamber, Chancellor Vane stood over 3 fresh decrees while King Alric, Princess Elira, and a ring of counselors argued in voices gone ragged from too many sleepless nights. Emergency bread levy suspension in western districts, Vane read. Immediate review of punitive burn orders. Provisional village councils at tax hearings. A duke in fox fur slammed his palm on the table. Concessions to rebels. Elira did not raise her voice. Concessions to citizens, she said. Or we can test how many squares the city can burn before winter. Silence. Alric looked older than he had the day before, armor traded for a plain dark coat. He studied the map pins marking riots, supply shortages, and Black Banner holdouts outside the capital. Sign them, he said at last. 3 councillors protested at once. Alric cut them off with one look. Sign them, he repeated. Vane set the decrees before him. The king's hand hesitated over the wax. Then he pressed the royal seal. Across the city, bell towers rang policy bells instead of curfew. Clerks nailed decree copies to market posts. Crowds surged to read. Some cheered. Some spat. Some simply stared, as if afraid to trust a word written under a crown. In a narrow courtyard behind the chapel infirmary, Rowan sat shirtless on a stool while Mara stitched the split in his shoulder guard wound. Hold still, she said. I am perfectly still. You are swearing with your entire posture. Bram leaned against the wall with his arm in a sling and looked overly pleased with himself. For the record, you looked very dramatic bleeding on civic architecture. Thank you, Rowan said dryly. I do not mean attractive. I mean expensive. Tomas appeared at the gate with 2 scouts and a stack of reports. Black Banner remnants withdrew north, he said. 2 groups surrendered at Stoneford when they heard Garrick was dead. 1 captain wants terms. Rowan stood, winced, and took the papers. We give terms if they lay down command seals and stop village seizures. And if they do not? Tomas asked. Rowan's jaw tightened. Then we meet them before they meet civilians. By afternoon, Eldoria looked less like a conquered city and more like a kingdom trying not to tear itself in half. At the palace steps, Elira oversaw the first public grain distribution under new decree. Palace quartermasters, rebel volunteers, and city guild workers unloaded sacks into marked lines. One old farmer in a patched coat took his allotment, looked up at her, and said, We buried my daughter in Frost Week because there was no flour. Elira held his gaze. I cannot return her, she said quietly. No, he answered. But you can stop the next grave. He shouldered the sack and moved on. Near dusk, Rowan entered the palace through the service gate under temporary truce token, escorted by 2 neutral guards and accompanied by Vane's clerk. No fanfare. No chains. No trust either. He found Elira on the west balcony overlooking the lower city where decree fires burned in braziers at every district post. She turned as he approached. You should be resting, she said. So should you. I am considering it in theory, she said, and he almost smiled at the echo. For a moment they stood shoulder to shoulder in the cold wind. Below them, lines still moved at grain carts by torchlight. He signed, Elira said. I heard. The court will try to get the decrees before month end. Then we keep enough pressure on roads and markets that they cannot. She looked at him. You are speaking like a minister. Do not insult me in my weakened condition. A brief laugh escaped her, then faded. Rowan, if this fails, people die believing they were promised change that never came. He turned fully toward her. Then we do not fail quietly. She searched his face as if measuring how much iron a person could carry before it broke him. You are leaving tonight, she said. Ashwood camps need food escorts and winter routes. I know. Wind lifted her shortened hair across her cheek. He reached up and tucked it back, knuckles brushing skin. 3 nights, he asked. 3 nights, she said. He kissed her once, slow and certain, as bells rolled over the city and the first stars broke through cloud. No promises beyond what they could keep. No illusions. Only choice, repeated. At full dark, King Alric addressed the council in the old throne hall. No crown on his head. Just a king who had watched his commander die in treason and his daughter defy him in front of the realm. The realm stands on a knife, he said. We can grip the blade and bleed out arguing titles, or we can build something that survives winter. He looked to Vane. Convene district delegates in 10 days. Crown, village, guild. Murmurs of outrage. Murmurs of shock. One baron stood. You would seat farmers with nobles. Alric's answer was flat. I would seat anyone who can feed a province and keep it from burning. By midnight, couriers rode from the capital under guarded lanterns carrying sealed summons. North to mill towns. West to burned villages. South to marsh settlements. East to mining hamlets. Not peace. Process. At the outer stables, Rowan mounted before departure. Tomas checked straps. Mara passed him route marks. Bran complained about his sling and everyone ignored him. Elira waited in shadow beside a pillar where guards pretended not to see. If court factions move against you, Rowan said, send the red ink signal through the laundry relay. I remember, she said. And if roads close? I find another road. You taught me that. He held her gaze for one last breath. Stay alive, he said. Still improving your line, she replied. Then he rode into the night with 6 Ashwood riders, vanishing beyond the gate where the city gave way to dark fields and older loyalties. At sunrise the next morning, Eldoria woke to new postings on every district board. Bread relief enacted. Burn order tribunal opened. Delegate assembly called. Temporary truce between crown patrols and registered rebel escorts. People gathered to read in the chill light. Some laughed in disbelief. Some wept. Some folded the notices and tucked them into coats like fragile proof that history could, sometimes, turn. From a high balcony, Elira watched the city breathe. From the forest edge miles away, Rowan watched smoke rise from villages that had survived one more night. The kingdom was not healed. It was not forgiven. But for the first time in years, dawn did not smell like surrender. It smelled like work. And that, Elira thought, was how new worlds began.